Oh my god, we got like 3 full pages of fragments.
Yep.
Okay, the medicine has not been completed yet. Damn, we have more than 3 full pages.
I think you're almost done.
June 1983, an invitation. Okay, so these, we're almost done, yeah. I could, Ross teacher and Vitamin A, big teddy bear, she needs moral support. Kichimaba changing schools, the revenge of Takano meals required. What?
What? What?
Okay, I guess I haven't gotten the revenge yet, but the medicine has.
Oh yeah, her revenge. Yeah, no.
Oh wait, maybe. Wait, did EDA say they finished the medicine? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nakagaku. 随分の久方ぶりになるね。最近はやってるのかい？あれ？
いえいえ、もうさっぱりです。年は取りたくないもんですな。
クレイやるときは集中してやらないとダメだよ。あんまり間を空けすぎると勘が鈍っちゃって意味ない。
先生、ご紹介します。高野さんさです。
はじめまして。本日はお忙しい中、お時間をお割きくださいましてありがとうございます。
ああ、別に君のために時間を割いたわけじゃない。うまい生ウニが食わせてもらえるって話でね。ウニはいいんだよ君。ビタミン A が豊富でね。お肌に特にいいんだとか。女性は大好きでしょ。ウニ。
Compared to spinach, it's not anything that's worth to make a fuss about. None of it matters right now. One criticism, I assume. These men are the directors of the Alphabet Project who control the funding for the EDA Institute. As people who won the position will offer their opinions to the directors. To put it simpler, the new owners of the EDA Institute. Although it's not just much Uncle Koizumi was, there are also leaders of influence in various fields. Have to be careful not to upset them. Therefore, there's no way I could have the ability to call them in. By using the influence the Koizumi faction once had, I managed to get the chance. Till Koizumi, who gave me his full support, made everything go my way. He's not here anymore. My own from this point on. I'll open a path. This stage doesn't belong to me today. I can't let the people who offered me this chance lose face, so I have to wait here impatiently until it's my turn. My primary objective today is to explain what prominent research subject Himazawa syndrome is, acquiring an indefinite extension of our research. The only thing that can buy my money, so there only lies in the hidden potential of this syndrome. I recognize this worth spending a lot of money on. This is not mere research to the extent of known on parasite, but it's something that might overthrow the basic foundations of anthropology. Well, prize wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be enough to try to explain all that to men who knew nothing about it, but I have to. I've spent many hours making these straightforward support documents. Sometimes we make documents confusing on purpose because we don't like dealing with uneducated people, but this time it's different. Can't look down on them, I must sincerely try to make them understand. Accessible support documents are there in a huge pile. Feels like we're wasting time eating traditional Japanese food in such a relaxed mood. Want to get to the point, explain it to them details so they can understand. But they're staying, luck lies in the last helping. Be patient right now.
Yep.
正直ね、これまでのアルファベットはあまり良くないと思うのです。結局こいつは未だ頭の中が時代遅れの年寄りどものね。お砂場みたいなもんだったんですな。
年寄りどもが自分のじゃない金で過去の栄光を取り戻す夢を描くお砂場です。そんな年寄りどもの妄想のために一体どれだけの公金が垂れ流されたやら。
聞いた話じゃ、奥野先生あたりが検察をつっついて旧理事会を横領で追わせてるらしいですな。
年寄りたちをよいしょしてうまい汁を吸っていた連中の末路ですな。もっとも表沙汰にはできんでしょうから、別件で隕石左遷といった形になるんでしょうが、いやはやこれも戦前の亡霊をずっと野放しにしていた日本のツケですな。いやー、この野球にの汁もたまらない。
これは手厳しい。そんな中で先生にこんなお願いをするのは非常になんですが、一つお時間を頂戴できればと思いまして。
入江機関さんでしたっけ？確か長野だか岐阜の方で風土病の研究をされてるんでしたな。 どういうことになってましたっけ？
理事会の決定で軍事転用研究が中止に。あと研究そのものも3年以内に段階的終了に決定しています。ああ、いえ、これは継続協議中でした。まあそのいずれにしましても数年以内に閉鎖になる予定です。
おお、思い出した思い出した。入江機関さんは旧理事会でも評判が悪かったみたいですな。何しろ莫大な予算をほとんど無審査で吸い取ってましたからね。
某大先生がどういうわけかこのプロジェクトをやたら後押しされてたみたいでしてね。その絡みもあって結局誰も文句が言えずに放置されてきたってのが実際のようです。
まあでもな、もう大先生は女癖が悪かったからそれもあったのかもしれませんな。
Thinking of when I slept with Uncle Koizumi, insulting both of us. I held my anger in. Can't let myself be bothered by something like this.
それで本日は
Forgot about that
当
part.
機関の研究内容について説明させていただき、当機関に対する理事会の決定についてどうかご再考をお願いしたいと思いましてお時間を頂戴させていただきました。本日はこのような場へご多忙な中お越しいただきましたことを深く御礼申し上げます。
ま、ただでウニが出てくるわけはないってことですな。
Jesus.
Going to how much Higumazawa syndrome mattered while being very careful not to go too fast. Try to know the syndrome's potential is limited to not small things like military applications, but much more meaningful that way. May explain ideology and religion. May even shake the very definition of a human being. Took my time to explain it as slowly and clearly as possible. Not confident that all of it has gone through the boorish men. Happy they understood even just part of it. As long as they understand how much of a magnificent discovery the syndrome really is.
Man.
ありがとうサンサ。なるほど。
ちょっと検討したい
It
ので
is insane
サンサ
how
には
much of
一度
human
下がっ
progress
て
is
もらっ
stopped
て
by
よろしい
just
ですかな。
old people who don't know what the fuck anything is.
失礼させていただきます。
I don't think they can discuss it in front of me. Left all the documents with them. Could do now is hope they viewed them favorably. Left the room and closed the sliding door. The room next door is a preparation room, so I went to head there. But I stopped. I shouldn't have done it, but I tried to listen to the sliding door.
こりゃあなんと言いますか。全理事の皆さんも気の毒としか言いようがありませんな。
いや小泉先生がですね、非常に強く押されていまして。
小泉先生にはローウェル製薬日本法人の初代顧問に就任された時に一度お会いし、とても聡明な方だなという印象を強く持っていたのですが、
人間年には勝てないということですな。何事も引き際が肝心だと思い知らされますよ。
ただですね、ひなみ沢症候群という非常に珍しい病気があるのは事実でございまして、決して全てが全て妄想というわけではありませんでして。
入江機関はすでに病気の解明と治療薬の開発に成功しているというじゃありませんか。それで十分ですよ。
現代日本にとって周辺諸国を過敏にさせる件については厳に慎むべきです。中でも軍事分野は最も敏感と言えるでしょう。少なくとも数年間にわたり軍事目的の研究がされていた事実は直ちに抹消しなくてはなりません。
それは軍事研究の中止とは別に。
そうです。ひなみ沢症候群は生物兵器開発のための研究という事実は直ちに研究を中止したとしても残ります。ひなみ沢症候群を目的は何であれ研究した事実は厳重に隠蔽されなければなりません。できればひなみ沢症候群そのものがなくなってしまうのが好ましい。
To reveal that we were making a biological weapon
病
like
気が
that.
残ればやがては関心を持つ者が現れ、せっかく埋めた穴をわざわざ掘り返す輩が現れないとも限りません。理事会の決定通り入江機関は病気を撲滅させ次第 研究の痕跡を全て消した上で解散させるのがいいでしょ
う。やはりそういう結論に行き着きますな。ノーベル賞が取れるかどうかが問題ではなく、戦後日本にとって無用な研究だということです。そもそも大昔から存在し、特に異常もなくやってこれたわけでしょ。やぶをつっつく研究なのではと当初から思っていました。
Okay.
同感ですな。ひなみ沢症候群という病気の存在自体は疑わないが、この高野という第一発見者は少々この病気を脚色しすぎですな。私も資料を読みながらユニークな発想をする人だなぁと思っておりました。第一、寄生虫で人の思想が染まるなんて聞いたことがない。そりゃいくらなんでもひどすぎる。
I'm religious with this, and Buddha, Christ, and all those people will be again queen carriers. Try exposing something like this, we'd be attacked by every nation on the planet. I can kind of see why that line might have been cut. Religion's pretty scary nowadays. Wahaha.
動物の脳に寄生する寄生虫がいるなら、しかしその寄生虫が思想や人格までもコントロールする可能性なんてのはさすがにこりゃちょっとユニークすぎます。
As I peeked through the gap in the sliding door, I became trapped with an unbelievable sense of deja vu. It's my first time experiencing this, but it doesn't feel that way. Don't know why, but the memory's so sad and so painful. Huh? Why tears? Before I realized it, I saw a very nostalgic carpeted room on the other side of the sliding door, instead of a room covered in tatami mats. Full of the smell of dust mixed with the smell of some evaporated medicine, but it's very soothing to me just the same. And there's my grandfather. The article they poured his heart to was made mockery of, yet he wasn't even allowed to cry. This isn't a delusion. Because within the documents I left those men, there's a lot of references to the article my grandfather wrote. So I'm not surprised for my grandfather to be standing right there explaining it to himself. Together with my tears from the sight of my beloved grandfather, I watched those men insult and belittle his masterpiece. I've seen this sight before. This sight should have ended there. But why is it repeating before my eyes? Conan blankly peeks through the sliding door of this strange world where reality and illusion overlap.
あのサンサもちょいとおかしいし、こんな世まいごとを信じた小泉先生もおかしいが、やはりこの第一発見者の論文が一番おかしいですな。
期待と妄想が入り混じっていて、これは論文というより創作の次元ですな。というか、これはこのままどこかの出版社に持ち込んで本にした方がウケると思いますよ。
確かに確かに。私の友人に出版社の社長をやってるのがいてね、きっと面白がって読んでくれると思いますよ。
笑い事ではありませんぞ皆様方。このとんでもない研究がまかり通って巨額の予算が数年間にもわたって投じられていたのですからな。特にひどいのは万一の場合に備えて相当危険な機材を用意しているという点です。これは絶対に国民に知られてはならないことです。
計画が存在しただけでも恐ろしいのに、終末作戦なんて緊急措置の存在を知られてしまったら、国外は愚か国内世論も敵に回すことになるだろうね。しかもその機材の維持費がすごいことになってるじゃないか。
そんなの本当に維持費にしてるわけないじゃないですか。そういう名目にしてトンネルしてる架空プロジェクトでしょ、どうせ。
大体何でしたっけ。少女が一人死ぬだけで村人が一斉に異常行動を起こす病気なんて、あなたどこの漫画の話ですか。
まったくこんな子供騙しを鵜呑みにして巨額の予算を垂れ流すとはつくづくいかんと思いますな。こんな資料を真に受ける連中がいるというんだから、実にバカバカしいことです。
You said that? He placed documents down with an exaggerated gesture. Actually, I should say he slammed them down. Because the papers ended up scattered all over the floor.
ですよな。ちょいと失礼。お手洗いに。
The men stood up and stepped on the papers. And they weren't the papers that are taught to me, Mats. The one on the carpet. Right there, I can see my grandfather filled with heart-rending sadness. Yet he can't let it show on his face. Grandfather's expression didn't change. Yet it seemed distorted to me. I could see in the walls my grandfather's study crumbling and twisting behind him. I jumped into the room. Grabbed onto the man's legs. I don't hate him. That's when I hate him or not. Sure, I hate him, but that's not it. I just can't forgive these feet stepping on my grandfather's article.
踏まないで踏まないでおじいちゃんが頑張って書いたんだから足で踏んだりしないで
ああ失礼
His feet are still stepping on the papers. I try to make them move. But they won't even budge as though they've grown roots. So I begged as grabbed his legs. I try to pull papers from his feet. I can't move his feet. I can't pull out the paper.
踏まないで踏まないでおじいちゃんの踏まないで
The sobbing echoed in that silent room, just like it did back then. Alright, on to the kind of final page. We're finishing this tonight. Fuck it. Let's just go. Let's keep going.
I'm fighting the final boss right now. I'm fighting Ice King right now.
An invitation to the end, or June 1983. Grandfather's articles were trampled on. Was proof have cleared the pathogen causing hematosis? Why can't believe it's life cycle? Because they never heard of that before? Because they can't imagine it? Because there's no way something so absurd could be true? Don't tell me that. I can't bring myself to care about the limits of those commoners' understanding. Why can't anyone believe the truth of my grandfather's article, which has been proven by the Idiot Institute? Why do you continue to believe that humans are special existence? Humans are simply a species of animal. Various parasites that control their animal hosts exist. How can declare parasites that use humans as their host cell? Wait, this isn't a problem. Not at all. Because everyone believed my grandfather's article up to now. The Ministry of Health and Defense Agency lent me their assistance. Out of nowhere, they turned cold. In other words, every bit of their help was because Uncle Koizumi had my back. Nobody actually read my grandfather's article? Did they just pretend in order to make Uncle Koizumi happy? What do you mean everything I've done until today? I thought I achieved something, but what have I really accomplished? I don't know what's going on, and all I can do is wallow in grief. The more I think about it, the more I no longer understand the meaning of my own life. Minio Takano devoted her life being useful to her grandfather. I haven't done anything for her at all. Count 3 with my grandfather, and I got to go to count 4. What a crazy thing to say. No. If I let my mind wander, dabble with myself, and my life will slip. But this one to fill the gap in my heart with alcohol. Kind of strange for this existence something can influence human thoughts. Sure, the human Metawa syndrome is the actual cause of ideology. The best thing to do is drive people mad. Socialism or capitalism don't organize with it. The era my grandfather was living, he couldn't talk about the world without ideology. The article came from that time and age, so some of its inferences may be exaggerated or biased, but there's no reason to deny its foresight. You simply can't say it's crazy and push it aside. Besides, the most important thing to ignore is the fact that Lucas Furuta, the Queen Carrier, holds the fate of the village in her hands. My grandfather predicted the importance and danger of the Queen Carrier since the beginning of his research on Himadawa syndrome. But the hypothesis may affect the community collapsing into madness. The Queen Carrier died. The Pandora's box that can't be proven. It can only be confirmed after Furuta because death.
We need a cat box.
Sorry, Takano didn't get that idea yet. Too late. But there's no mistake that Frederica is the Queen Carrier in a very special existence. It's clear from the various experiments we've performed that she has a special influence on the infected villagers. Her death will really trigger the collapse of the entire village. It's no mistake. My grandfather predicted it. Say all that sounds like comic books, it's just too cruel. Even called various preparations made to protect her fictional project that was used for a ton of funds. Enjoy how simple my grandfather was doing. Therefore, I took my research the same as assaulted my grandfather. According to my grandfather's article, the first thing he done when the research was to protect the Queen Carrier. Yet they ridiculed that more
What
than
the fuck?
anything else. The more I think about it, the more the words stick in my memory. I can almost hear their voices, and I can't stop myself from covering my ears. I'm sure the members of the board of the directors think I'm crazy. I'm trying to petition for the ED Institute not to be shut down, but it backfired. Most of the things the syndrome is some kind of joke, and I'm sure they'll push down even harder to stop our research. Happened, I would have gone back to research into an individual. In other words, the same as my grandfather did. There's a limit to what an individual can do. Doubtful if we ever be able to go back to researching it individually. Once the ED Institute is abandoned, everyone's obligated to keep it confidential until we die. Sign a contract to that extent. That's not a simple promise. But to break it, a special unit like the Monster Dogs has to ensure I keep everything confidential. If that doesn't happen, the ED Institute should be eradicated the syndrome within a few years and bury every trace of it, including the results of our research. This is a normal process, research and treatment. We must pretend nothing ever happened to begin with. I want to continue with my grandfather's work, but what's happening now will result in the complete opposite. I'm actually helping to eliminate grandfather's hard-earned research from this world. Treatment has been creative already. Although EDA is as passionate as I am by developing cure, he's not particularly interested in any other aspects of our research. I hate to admit it, but he's more experience and talent than I do. Sure, you'll come up with a plan for eradicating the Matsuribayashi syndrome within 3 years as requested by the new board of directors. That board of directors will provide just enough funds to bury the syndrome. EDA will do that happily. Just like the time when he disclosed all the research data on the test medicine H170 requested. All I can do is passively hinder them, just like they did me, while watching Higurashi syndrome get eradicated. When everything is over, I'll finally complete an article which was destined to be destroyed. Should I kill myself with the thoughts of it in my head so I can at least present the article to my grandfather? I'll be happy even if I did. On the contrary, he'll be disappointed for me to run the research he spent half his life on down the drain. He won't embrace me, I know that for sure. I wanted to reveal Higurashi syndrome to the world. I wanted the world to acknowledge my grandfather's masterpiece. I wanted to carry his name in history and promote him to a god. My grandfather waited, believing the day would come. He must be patiently waiting still, even after entering his eternal sleep. But I ruined it. I wanted him to become a god. I was going to become a god myself too. I'll become together forever, and I'll never have to be alone. Become a god, and God won't test me. There won't be any unhappiness. There won't be any sudden train accident. My grandfather won't go away, nor will Uncle Koizumi. Never have to go back to being alone. I am alone. I have no allies. I was just dancing in ecstasy on the stage without anybody watching. One realized there was no applause, but only ridicule. No, Sample was actually anyone in the audience to begin with. My parents died, my grandfather died, and Uncle Koizumi died. 3 times had God toyed with me with their roll of the dice. I overcame each of those trials with my mind strength. I did it. I was protected by a new guardian each time. This time I had no guardians left to protect me. When I first arrived in Mizawa, I had every intention of challenging God and kicking him off his throne. But now, challenging God, I'll just be a loser being played with. I suddenly can't find it within myself to care about anything. Because if I cared, I'd be swallowed by sadness. Soaked in my heart and alcohol is all I can do is forget about everything. A luxurious black car had luckily stopped next to me. I became sober immediately, as cars like that remind the time I was captured after escaping the orphanage. Suspicious-looking men in black suits and sunglasses get out of the car. Lightened instantly. It must have been sent by one of my clients. Being involved in the development of a biological weapon, being the main person responsible for it, on top of that being mentally unstable. They obviously don't want me walking around feebly. Going to abduct me and seal me in concrete and erase my existence. Or so I saw it. Expecting to grab me and shove me into the car. Surprisingly, they bowed deeply to me instead.
副所長高野美代三等陸佐でありますね。
普段はね。今はただの飲んだくれの負け犬。
Takano, have you considered murder?
お会いしたい方がいらっしゃいます。
Murder?
どうか
Murder.
私たちにご同行いただけないで
Yeah,
しょう
no, like
拒否した。
mass
ど
murder.
うせ無理やり連れて行くつもりなんでしょう。
Killed anyway. I can't make my grandfather's wish come true even if I live. Cynical thoughts like that ran through my head. The person in the backseat said,
無理にとは申しません。ですが、きっと三世のお力になれると思っております。
I've never met this young woman before, but she must be around my age. She knows about the Idiot Institute, but she must be somehow connected to my clients. She's too young to be one herself. But the client who doesn't want to expose himself sent her. When I live, I can't make my grandfather a god. I can't get god myself either. Guess a loser like me gets killed anyway. Waited by a vine and got into the back seat. As I got in, the luckiest car smoothly took off. silence filled the car for a time. Once I invited me. To have anything to say myself.
ご無沙汰しております。と言ってもおそらくご存じないでしょうね。高野さんとは小泉先生の奔走の時すれ違っております。
あら、そうでしたね。覚えていなくて申し訳ないです。
There's so many people at that funeral. Can't recall any of them. But why is that what she's opening with? Does that mean she belongs to the Koizumi faction?
小泉先生は戦後日本復興のオピニオンリーダーの一人として長く
Of
活
course,
躍
it's
さ
One
れて
Piece
きま
Space
した。
Princess.
今日の平和日本を語る上で小泉先生の功績に触れずして
Imagine
説
One
明
Piece
する
Space
ことは
Princess
難
is
しいで
the
しょう。
the woman
戦後
talking
の焼け野
about
原
now.
から
No,
復興する
no.
時
If the voice, if it was silent, I would attempt to like, no, I'm not doing the Lumpy
no.
Space Princess impression.
今もそうであるとは言えません。平和な時代が進み
Oh my god.
焼け野原の白見世代が
Heard of
国の
Hima
中心に
Dawa
入り始めるにつれ当初の高貴な志を知る者は
Lumpy Space Princess was the final boss, actually.
小泉先生はそんな高貴な同志の最後の長老として21世紀を我が国を導いてくださる大黒柱だったのです。
小泉先生の死後、小泉派は急速に没落。代わって他の派閥が勢力を伸ばし、いろいろと大変なことになっているでしたっけ。
Heard about these things from Jido-san. It's really no different from the Sengoku era, where Lord or military leader died back then. The struggle to become a successor brought chaos with the nation. The country hasn't changed for hundreds of years.
その通りです。残念ながら平和日本は住みよい国づくりを実践してきましたが、同時に発足当時の高貴な志を忘れさせてもしまいました。現在東京は各派閥が小泉先生の開けた席と利権をめぐって争いが絶えない状態です。小泉先生、
それと私に、
あなたはそれの最大の被害者ではありませんか。
Sure, our research
I won.
came from Koizumi Sensei support. The pressures we face until the anti-Koizumi faction has been tempestuous and cold. Maybe for them, even Project Koizumi Sensei left behind is an eyesore, regardless of what the project is. In other words, that simply means they reject the research itself, doesn't it?
In other words,
Come to think of it, something like that happened to my grandfather too. Back then, Koizumi brought the authorities to see him. They talked down to grandfather, afraid to give earlier. Koizumi Sensei, the masterminds responsible for that.
ひなみ沢症候群の研究はアルファベットプロジェクトで最大のもので予算、体制その他プロジェクトの目玉だったと言っても過言ではありません。ゆえに
Young woman, I'm very tired. I would like to finish this tonight. Could
あ
you
なたの
get to
研
the
究は
point?
そのスケープゴートにされたのです。
スケープゴート。
決してひなみ沢症候群の研究、彼らにとって重要なのはそのプロジェクトの派閥で
結局、私は見せしめの羊ということなのね。
そういうことです。派閥は風向きそのもの。順風なと
私のクライアントたちが敵対的。
そうです。アルファベットプロジェクトは完全に乗っ取られてしまいました。理事は全て彼らの私欲を肥やすためだ。ここで一度話を売ります。あなたがソフト呼び敬愛していた高野先生との約束。
Oh, that's surprising. Koizumi said it once told me that fact could become a hindrance, so I never told any of my clients about it. Let's find out. If you know that, you know a lot more about us than I think.
どこでそれを知ったんですか。
小泉先生からです。私たちはあなたの敵ではありません。どうかお楽になさってください。
I don't know who it is, but she's here because she wants something from me. So what does she want? She knows about the relationship between my grandfather and me, so I can't be careless.
ただ私たちがあなたの力になるには
おっしゃる意味がわかりません。
高野さんがひなみ沢症候群を研究する本当の目的は何ですか。
If my grandfather's masterpiece acknowledged for it, what it is, and become a god.
高野先生の研究を世間に認めさせること。あなたの祖父が心を込めて書き上げた論文を踏みつけてないがしろにしたことへの復讐ではありませんか。
Research and limits, letting my surprise show my face. How does this woman know much about me? In the first place, who the fuck is she? We're too late to be introducing new characters, guys. Can admit that out loud in any case. Clearances to consider. So while this elegant woman with an angelic smile, she laughed with the devil's seductive whisper. Several times better at it than I am. A simple smile and devilish grin are completely different.
Oh no, this game has New Game Plus.
This just smirk means the complete opposite. Woman can be my deepest thoughts, and while doing so, she tests me to how honest I can be with her. Whether I say all of the truth or not isn't the issue here. She's testing me to see if I can trust her enough to confess everything.
もしも私の言っていることが全くでももし私の言っている
Can't say anything in reply, but I think that simply remaining silent might be the answer. Figure what she wants from me. I always wanted to phrase my objective as some sort of vague idea of turning my grandfather into her god. She has taught me what the true objective is. I want to get revenge for my grandfather's suffering. Those pure people to fight over the right to read the article once they trampled on and mocked. Wanted to believe, no, worship every single word my grandfather left behind. That's my true objective. The woman has stated out loud, which I've only whispered within myself. She even asked me if it was correct. Is this a woman, an angel,
Are you a demon
or a
lady?
devil? She is human, I'm existence above me.
あなたの不幸は自分の目的を具体的に理解していなかった南沢症候群の神秘を探るという抽象的な目的を掲げそうでしょそうそれは違う思い浮かべることができますかそれはこういう状況彼らは裏側に足跡が残るその論文をうやうやしく読みその先見性あふれる研究に興味を示しおそらく南沢症候群という言葉をあなたの祖父が作られ永遠に刻まれたそうそれはあなたの祖父がその偉業が永遠の存在に昇華されるというなのその偉業を全く理解できない豚たちはあなたの祖父の論文をぐっと見つけたよ
Who the fuck are you? I am tired. My voice hurts. I've been talking all day.
悔しいとても悔しいあなたが一生懸命作った資料をそうあなたのおじいちゃんが一生懸命作った論文と同じそれを踏みにじり嘲笑った彼らが許せないおじいちゃんの威厳をバカにした豚どもが許せないそうでしょそうじゃないですか本当はそうそれを心優しいあなたは人を罵る言葉を知らなくて
Everyone should tell me. It makes me feel like I'm suffocating. The sensation being cautious and calm, trust and mistrust all blending together. Heart is beating fast, my fingertips are shaking. Why am I at peace? Because you remind me of my true dreams that I didn't express with my own words until now? Because you made me aware of the anger within myself? Why am I hesitant? Because it's reminding me of things I never told anyone until now? Those things I never even told myself?
ねえ、ミオさん。もし私の言ったことが間違っていないどころか。どうなさったのかしら。違う。
Small noise leaked pathetically out of my mouth. Like a child apologizing for a prank.
何かおっしゃったかしら。
As she heard me, the woman smiled, trying to make me say it again.
違います。具合悪くないです。ならよかったです。話を続けましょう。私の夢がそうなら、あなたに何ができるというんですか。あなたの2つの復讐をお手伝いします。一つはあなたの祖父のための復讐。あなたの祖父の論文を嘲笑った者たちにもう一度うやうやしく手に取らせてやりましょう。彼らが土足で踏みつけたその論文をね。もう一つはあなたと祖父の約束であり心のつながりでもある症候群の研究を派閥争いだけを理由に踏みにじり、研究を彼らの権益のためだけに終わらそうとする理事会への復讐。あなたの目の前で資料を踏みにじり、 あな
祖父の論文を手に取らせ、
こちらも腹を割りますと、もち小泉先生が日本の未来のために立ち上げられたプロジェクトを私たちにもっと力があれば、そのような輩の介入を許しはしないのです。豚どもが私欲を肥やすための豚小屋となり果てました。プロジェクトは小泉先生の派
閥争いの生贄羊を、
あなたが今のまま生涯公開できぬ祖父の論文を胸に
No,
隠
I
居さ
won't
れ
let
る
that
ことを
happen.
選ぶおつも
I'm
りで
falling to
す。
the ground myself. But at least my grandpa, my god woman, you speak so slowly and I'm so tired. Please. Who
あ
are
な
you?
たとおじいちゃんの結晶である論文を永遠のものにはしたくない。
それが私の生きる目的。
あなたの本当の夢を叶えるチャンスを私たちがお手伝い
I
し
thought I
ま
was
す。
a loser in life to drown myself in tears and alcohol after being banned by everything. Am I someone who could be an angel or a devil? Is this divine salvation or the devil's seduction? Followed the board of directors regarding the continuation of my research, but that was completely off target. That wasn't my true goal. My objective is to continue researching Himizawa syndrome. That the world acknowledge my grandfather's research as a masterpiece. Somehow the mess of achievement has swapped places with my objectives and caused me to misunderstand myself. The purpose of my life isn't to continue my grandfather's research. It's to get revenge and repay them for my grandfather's suffering. That's what this woman is saying. She's promising to make my grandfather's research eternal. She's also promising an opportunity to take revenge against those who laughed at it. When Uncle Koizumi died, I thought God was playing dice with my fate. My unshakable conviction gathered together the power stronger than God's die. Maybe this meeting happened for a reason. Curse you, God. You're testing me again. I will overcome the death of Uncle Koizumi. Make my grandfather an eternal existence by taking revenge against the God who tested me. I will, for certain. I will take my revenge. What do you mean it's 10 minutes to midnight? What do you mean repeat the game? What do you mean we're 2.5 hours into this recording and I can't fucking stop now? I'm gonna have to probably split this video at some point. Whatever. Oh my god, Griffin. She was talking so slowly.
Yeah.
June 1983. With this, do you have all the pieces lined up for 1983? Sure hard and exhausting job just lining up the pieces for the month of June. But finally I'm at the starting line, beginning from zero at last. Yet seeing all these colorful fragments together, I just realized how many sentiments were intertwined around June 1983. I used to think that thoughts of people with no relation to me were useless. But I was wrong. Frederica did her best to overcome the fate of June 1983. She did two things. One was to get in touch with the EDA Institute because she knew she'd be protected there. Ironically, Takano for the EDA Institute was the one who wanted to kill her. It wasn't the best move for her at the time. And the other was to ensure that my Violet family moved to Hinamizawa. Actually, I wasn't certain that my Violet family would move here. They first decided to move here when the father felt something sentimental at the sight of us the day he came to the field of properties for sale. Therefore, it's necessary for us to play in that field as a trigger for the my Violet family move. It took me so long to find that out, though. After turning various conditions on and off repeatedly, I finally realized meeting Keiichi's father at that field was the cause. Keiichi Maibara is a very important key for breaking Rule Z, one of the chains that was binding me. He is a fresh air that is powerful enough to break the old, evil customs of this village. Create many opportunities, but he also provided me with an important clue by letting me know the strong conviction in the will to believe that what's important is standing up against a powerful fate. But I wasn't the only one who wanted him here. People in the Sonozaki family who wanted to wipe out the nastiest tradition in the village also wished for him. Sonozaki beyond herself vowed to protect Satoko Satoshi because it very much bothered how rational the treatment the Hojo family was. And the night that Satoshi Hojo disappeared, she exploded at Oryu and voiced her true feelings. Oryu Sonozaki understood. Oryu herself had come to understand the wicked customs of the village and wanted to do something about it. But she didn't have the power to do so herself, so she trusted the fresh air that was blowing in from the outside. Where the lost went on sale, so my Bada family could move in. When I danced in that field, before we had the sale, Keiichi couldn't come. And right out Ryugu proved many important opportunities for Keiichi Maibara, was saved by returning to Mizawa after the deep emotional trauma of her parents' divorce and into her terminal condition. My found out Keiichi's wish to restart his life was the same as Ryugu Rena's the year prior. Maybe that's why Rena was able to understand Keiichi. It's like the miracle where one can recognize moments in a certain fragment from another fragment. They can use the lessons learned from one fragment, then humans will make those mistakes. Game pieces will make their best moves, and the chances of winning this game of June 1983 will rapidly increase. In other words, Ryugu Rena makes an extremely important move on this game board without realizing it. The mighty Roll Z that surrounded the Hojo siblings and was eventually smashed by their actions. Of course, Satoko overcoming herself was also a big help. The hands met only because they reached from both sides. Keiichi and Rena are the ones who taught me that. Mion is the one who made it possible for them to move here. She also helped them become familiar with the village. That's not all. Ide is also an important piece with significant functions of his own. Feeling empathy for Satoko, his most influential piece on the board we called Hinamizawa Syndrome. System is capable of defeating Bulex. Keiichi and Rena's determination and subsequent awakening taught us it was possible to fight against Bulex, but didn't defeat it. Defeating Bulex requires the existence of Ide, who had a strong will to discover a cure for this syndrome. I don't know if Ide held this many sauces in him. Always thought he was rather absent-minded. In fact, an important, powerful piece. So we gather all this power. Can we win against Takano's will? I've seen Takano's thoughts, too. Sadly, her will is strong and can't be easily broken. Some wonder our fate in June 1983 has been so hard to shake, no matter how hard we fought. The sentiments I've been turning towards is a pale in comparison to how many she's brought into it. The weight of our game pieces are different, because I've given up on fighting while she is risking her life to fight on. Spent time sulking and drinking wine to escape from reality. Must be a very light piece indeed. Can't win against Takano with what I have so far. Need more pieces to be able to win. The officer Oishi once showed me the possibility of becoming a strong ally. But he's under the misunderstanding that the Sonozaki family caused the death of his dear friend. So until that gets resolved, he won't be any help. I don't know how I can resolve that misunderstanding. But I just have to believe in it and keep daring to die. Just like Keiichi and Rena's constitute a chance for change fate, maybe Akasaka has the power to create a chance as well. The curse of 1983 is tied to the curse of Hinamizawa. The curse can't be broken by inner power alone. It takes power from outside as well. Both sides have to reach out, otherwise the hands won't meet, just like what happened with Satoko. But Akasaka never came to our aid. Even if he did, he's always too late. Too late. Far too late. If I keep trying to die, will Akasaka's game piece eventually appear? The final rule, Blue Eyes, involves evil masterminds who are using Takano as their own game piece. To defeat them, I need a very strong opponent for her. The one I can think of is that of an Akasaka from the police headquarters in Tokyo. No more pieces would lend me their power. I need to gather them all, otherwise I can't win against Takano. The preparation game board is complete, but I need more pieces. It's the only beginning. Alright, so I guess it's time to go gather pieces from the past 7 episodes. We need an army to beat Takano. Why
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she has one.
Yeah. So, how do we counter Takano's move? How do we get Akasaka here? How do we get Oishi to realize it's not the Sonozaki's? Alright. A fragment of a fragment of chapter 4, right?
Yes.
Alright. A fragment of Onikakushi. Chapter 1. What the fuck in chapter 1 could even help us?
Wait, are you going out of order?
No, this is
Wait.
what the order is listed here.
Wait, what did you do first? What was that one? Last one we did.
June 1983.
And okay,
It's,
yeah,
it's
okay,
the
okay.
prologue.
Episode order.
Okay.
Or chapter order. Onikakushi first.
Onikakushi, Himatsuburi, Sumi Horoboshi.
No, it's Onikakushi.
Griffin, I know the order of the episodes.
Okay.
I am looking at these in the order that the things is currently presented in.
Gotcha.
I know how the
I was
episodes
looking at
go.
the order list.
A fragment of Matsuribayashi. But what could even help from Onikakushi? That was a bad situation for everyone involved. Let's talk about a bad situation for everyone involved. Let's talk about Tatari Goroshi. Watsunagashi and Meikashi are both basically the same. Alright. Back to where it all began. In order for Keiichi Maibara to become a game piece that can leave everyone, there's something he has to learn about first. The piece that's very painful, pitiful, and sad. He has to learn about his friends, and he has to learn not to doubt them. He doesn't know the importance of trusting his friends. He doesn't know. Just yet.
Does he know? He doesn't know.
A slight mistrust grows into paranoia, and Maibara Keiichi is trapped within Rule X. At the end of Rule X, Keiichi leaves a sad note and dies. While it may be very bitter and very painful, it also pushes him through the process of learning something very important. Hey, Hanyu. He didn't have to apologize. In a few days, he left Yamazawa to attend his relative's funeral. Tragically, he experienced an outbreak, but I can't think this was necessary. His first step towards learning something important. The very first step towards smoking out Rule X and eventually defeating it. When this piece was all I had, I didn't even think of that. Alright, Keiichi, you gotta lock in. If you don't lock in, everything fucking falls apart. Wata Nagashi, Keiichi, for the love of God, give the doll to Mion. Chapter 2. This game piece reminds us that no matter what happens in this game board, everything is due to the curse of the Sonozaki family pulling someone's strings. No, to put it in my own words, this is a piece that makes everyone aware of the existence of Rule Z. It's hard not to notice with just this piece, but this is a complicated fragment where Shion Sonozaki, while trapped in Rule X and mistaken it for Rule Y, is hurled about, come to know its existence of Rule Z. But this is also a piece that teaches us the rules of the game board. By the way, this piece called Sonozaki Shion is a piece coming from the outside, from the game's point of view. She dislikes Hojo Satoko at first, but through this and another piece, she learns something important. The challenge is Rule X, and it grows to be a powerful piece to fight Rule Z. The most particular part of this fragment is that it's so hidden cunningly, it doesn't seem that way at all with just a passing glance. Learn from your mistakes. Please become a powerful piece and lend me your strength to defeat my enemies. Please remember what Satoshi wanted from you, Shion. Take care of Satoko. That was his one request.
Trying to make the perfect June 1983.
Tatari Goroshi. Let's look into this nightmare of a piece. This piece shows us the existence of the unreasonable Rule Z surrounding Satoko, and reveals the most powerful adversary on the game board, Rule Y. Can Rules X, Y, and Z be seen now? The enemy we need to fight, the things we need to learn, all are gathered and revealed in this fragment. This is the fragment that does basically teach you everything, right? That theoretically you can solve Higurashi just by reaching here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fighting against Rule Z's effect on
The
Satoko
original
is the best
end of the questions arc.
can be done. But in this piece, we make a mistake in our approach for fighting it. The outcome we gained was erroneously made. Through erroneous means is erroneous itself. Maibara Keiichi learned that through his own experiences. Tragedy doesn't possess the power to overcome tragedy. Violence doesn't possess the power to overcome violence. If they can grasp that, all the pieces on the game board will learn the true way to fight. But Takano is too powerful. The shocking end of this piece doesn't allow us to learn that easily. Alright, Himatsubushi. Alright, Akasaka. Fucking get to June 1983 right now. This piece is the only one that's so distorted. It kinda sucked. I kinda don't want to revisit it now that I think about it. Because it's from long before June 1983. Therefore, the existence of this piece has no effect whatsoever in the game we're playing on this board. But is this really a useless piece? Ryukishi had to make this chapter because now we have to do something with it. The identity rule of the Y has been completely exposed by now. Back in the mighty organization, it is powerful enough to swallow up the small solidarity of individuals. Most gave up this game because of its irrational power. That's why I'm thinking, maybe there's a piece hidden in somewhere strong enough to fight against such a formidable enemy. Akasaka Mamoru, who works at the police headquarters in Tokyo, might be able to power to stand up such a vast conspiracy. Can his power withstand even Rule Y? Just like my Bada Keiichi defeated Rule Z, we'll be able to defeat Rule Y so easily. We need everyone's strength, so Akasaka's strength is needed as well. Alright, moving on to Answers arc. Let's go see the other half of Watanagashi with Meikashi. Oh, Meikashi. Chapter 5.
Yeah, Meikashi.
Meikashi. This is a piece of Shion Sonozaki who goes mad after being taken by Rule X. No room for sympathy, this is such a painful piece that one could only have pity. It distinctly identifies the keyhole of the padlock rule called Rule Z. My Bada Keiichi becomes the key himself to pry open this padlock. As Sonozaki may unwish for, comes a wind that clears out the stagnant air filling the village. This piece also teaches us an important lesson. Sonozaki Shion learns through this piece and becomes a strong ally for Hojo Satoko. That way, maybe Hojo Satoko is a piece that represents the padlock for Rule Z. Unless she is saved, Rule Z can't be defeated. And wherein she is saved, that means Rule Z is defeated. The piece indicates only that. The only thing that Sonozaki Shion learned from gambling her life. By now, I think it's very important. Every time I see Satoko and Shion argue about pumpkins, I think about that. Sumi Horoboshi, chapter for Onikakushi. The game piece has a very important meaning for us, because it shows us for the first time it was possible to poke a hole in the fate of June 1983. To start from the conclusion, everything gets taken in by Rule Y at the end, and all our efforts is wasted. But we're challenging the great law that governed this game board, Rule X, head on. We're using everything we learned so far from other fragments, which can prove we can defeat it. We grow by learning. In a game with no hopes of winning, we can discover a slight chance of victory. This piece taught us that. With this game piece, Rule X was almost completely defeated. My Bada Keiichi and his other friends won't be led astray by something as pathetic as Hinamasawa syndrome and dance in tragedy any longer. This will taught us the rules aren't indestructible and are possible to overcome. In other words, it's given us, the ones who are the outside of the game board, hope. It's an important fragment that serves us as a turning point and the trigger for everything else. It's also a pretty goated chapter, not gonna lie. Mina Goroshi, the counter to Tatara Goroshi. The game piece that uncovers the invisible Rule Y has been pulling strings from the beginning. Because the impression of that is so strong, it's easy to forget about something very important. We can't forget this piece also shows us a path to destroying Rule Z. While Frederica invented Rule Z is impossible to defeat, it was hardly a match for my Bada Keiichi and the others who once learned everything they needed to. They knew the correct way to fight, and fought according to the rules of the game board. The result, we win, and that fact is more valuable than anything for us. My Bada Keiichi taught me a lesson. There is no need to subject ourselves to fate. The will to believe can defeat anything. The fate that I've always subjected to was created by Takano Mio's own conviction. What he says is correct. To defeat her conviction, we need a strong conviction of our own. Strong will can be pierced only by another strong will. We defeated rules X and Z, and the challenge of final rule Y, but we need more pieces. Each piece fought its best, but the strength of our enemy's pieces, led by Mio Takano, were too powerful. She didn't give us mercy, she squished us completely and made us restart the game all over again. Though we lost, we didn't give up the resolve in our hearts, because we finally found the true culprit. We also found a clue to how to fight against her. We can't with the pieces we have now. We don't have enough powerful enough conviction or strong enough will. But Hanyu and I will keep trying. We'll roll our die repeatedly, look for the greatest result, collect pieces, and try again. With will stronger than Takano. Do you think giving up several times before we got to this point? But you made it because you believed in me and followed me here. We're almost there. We can do it. Let's create the last piece. It'll be the ultimate piece, and we won't need anything else. The very last piece of all. Come on, let's collect the pieces. Let's collect miracles. Please give your hopes, desires, and dreams to me.
Hopes and dreams.
So we'll save the world.
One, 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 one.
Bop, 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 bop. Griffin, are you proud of me? Are you proud of me?
You did it.
Holy shit.
Now I'll have to come back here later on.
To this exact moment? Should I just make a different save then?
Wait, no, you have to come back here to the beginning to do it all over again.
I'll just still do that there, just be.
Yeah, just do that. Yeah.
Alright. Have I finally gotten the right to play Chapter 8? A fragment
There's only one left, right?
of Matsuribayashi.
Alright. Chapter 8 start.
After collecting miracles from all 7 fragments, I finally got a
You're
hold of
technically
this
like
one.
halfway through the chapter by now.
This fragment holds our final fate, but before we take a peek, please wait just for a little bit. The fate that's inside will be decided the moment we take a peek. Have I told you about the story of the cat in the box? Don't do Knuckle
Not
buckle.
yet. Not like this. Not like this.
Knuckle buckle. Is the cat in the box alive or dead? If you open the box, you'll know, but you won't know until you open it. It could be alive, it could be dead. In other words, before you open the box, the living cat and the dead cat simultaneously coexist. The moment you open the box and find out the truth, the incorrect answer disappears. The inside of this fragment is the same principle. The future we desire and the future Takano's desires simultaneously coexist. They're opposing and denying each other. Once we take a peek, one of those futures will disappear. If we have enough pieces, we can take a look inside this fragment. But we only had the same piece lined up on the way of the game board. The game under the same condition was Takano's complete victory. We already tried that in Minagoroshi fragment. We needed more pieces. We needed the help of a piece that's powerful enough to defeat Ruled Y. Till I get a hold of that piece, it's too scary to take a peek inside this fragment. But how do I get such a piece? It's a piece I've never gotten a hold of before. To obtain it, I need to look. Just one more time. I need one more miracle to obtain that piece.
What are you missing?
Someone who can rival Takano herself.
And that's why Lambda Delta is the Witch of Effort.
Leftover fragments. Do you need the final miracle? Rika, I really want to play Chapter 8. Can you let me? No. But no. But no. You know how long I've worked on this?
We literally don't have the things we need.
AJ, you know how long I've worked on this fragment? If you look inside of it and Takano wins, I'm going to delete your entire YouTube channel. Right, Burnt Costello, please don't yell at me. What?
Hold you by your collar against the wall, like.
What is this? I never noticed this little tiny fragment. Sometimes the fragment gets cracked and it breaks. Just like how the fate we believe in cracks sometimes. Damaged fate is no longer the same fate it was. Then which fate does this piece belong to? I picked up this tiny fragment and tried to match it with the fragments I have in my hand. And the last fragment I picked up was the Himatsubushi fragment. This fragment was distorted from the beginning, and look. See? This tiny piece fits perfectly. This tiny fragment, how will the world change? What kind of miracle will occur?
Chapter 4 was missing a piece.
The whole world wrapped. Chapter 4 was missing
Wrapped.
a... Warped. Chapter 4 really was missing a fucking piece this entire fucking time?
Yep.
That's
We're
why
missing a piece.
everything went wrong because someone didn't finish Chapter 4! The puzzle piece back where it belonged, the sorting center on the crack. But this doesn't mean I can't take a peek inside. It's already past 1985. It's a long time after Frederica and his friend's stories tragically ended in June 1983. Some mild interference in order cracked through their headsets.
前班へ室長から ありがたいお言葉があるぞ。
ご苦労さん。所轄署は15分くれることになってる。秒で制圧しろ。ターゲットの一人は外交官だ。警察だと悟られるな。有無を言わせず身柄を確保しろ。ただし間違っても危害を加えるな。外交問題に発展するぞ。
外交官特権で地元暴力団と癒着している芸道どもだ。
They also do that too. According to the local embassy, some of the victims are younger than teenagers. I can probably see why that was cut.
子供が
Normally this would be a simple case with the perpetrators being gangsters. But when the police found out the foreign diplomat was involved, things got more complicated all of a sudden. Diplomats have diplomatic immunity, so the police can't arrest them. But they knew he was an important figure in the whole scheme. There's no doubt that he was middleman between the foreign criminal organization and the Japanese gangsters. They couldn't let him escape. It's easy to report him, but that wouldn't solve anything. Police had asked him the embassy for assistance, but he denied their request. And the case was put on standstill at that point. That's when he found out the organization was going to be selling the Self-Defense Force classified radar and missile technology secrets. Public Safety Division has moved on to the premise to protect this classified government division. And today was the day the operation was set to go.
正面は階段前に2人、地下入り口に2人、裏口に4人。全員体重の可能性大。
Oh no, Griffin, I just realized something.
普段より2人多いな。
I'm back in chapter
あの
4.
人にとっちゃ
I'm back in a police mission in chapter
容
4.
赦ねえからな。
Oh no!
聞こえるか、赤坂。
No!
お前が切り込み隊長だ。用心してかかれ。よし、開始しろ。
赤坂了解。作戦を開始する。
There he is.
I have this kid who plays bongos for me. He gets me in the mood. Man's only appeared around the corner downtown. It was Akasaka. Displayed none of his naivety
What's up,
when we
bro?
first met Ika. He also had a very weird neck and chin. Around club, a bounce of a heavy foreign accent stopped him.
I can't remember his voice actor's name. Fuck.
Daisuke Ono.
Daisuke Ono.
And who is that kid with the bongos with you? I'm pretty sure he's not allowed. No, he has a legal pass. See? No. It's very difficult to forge, so they can only get one. As a plan on point, he was the one who received it. Before we have a membership card.
赤塚さん、地上の護衛突破。地下階段を降りてます。
頼むぞ、赤坂。
Along the staircase, it was an over-decorated door like the ones you see at a high-class club. The venomous glow of a cocktail light lit up, and silently warning everyone his entrance to the den of evil.
いらっしゃいませ。会員証を拝見いたします。
Guard the entrance took the membership card and put it through the card reader on the wall. Beep. An error sound. Slight perspiration you could see on Akasaka's forehead. Guard swiped the card a couple times more. Beep. Beep.
赤塚さん、手間取ってます。
まさかカードの認証が変えられたか。赤坂にトラブルが発生したら作戦変更
Oh
する
wait,
ぞ。
I'm sorry. I was putting it upside down. My bad. I meant to go this way. Possibly fingering his gun. Ding. Buzzer suddenly rang with a delightful tone. The card reader flashed a green light. Immediately after that, the lock on the door opened up.
お待たせしました。どうぞお通りください。
I'm sorry. I had, you know, when you swipe the card one way, it was actually supposed to be the other way. Yeah, I did that. Here you go. Have a good day. Loud music and flashing color lights spilled from the outside in. Within, a well-dressed guard appeared to welcome Akasaka. At this moment, his first mission was accomplished. Yukishi, I'm letting you cook, so I want to see how this has to be the last miracle we need to save everyone. Partly locked, so when it closed, it was also sealed that way. There's a solid door, nearly impossible to open from the outside. Someone had not only opened that door, but keep it open for several seconds in order for the raid to begin. Akasaka was the only one who could do that.
赤坂、入り口確保。
作戦開始。
Unfortunately, outside of the club was getting a new tenant, and there were two trucks parked in the front of the building. But for itself, it's a disguise. Two doors of the truck opened and several dozen plainclothes investigators jumped out. Same thing happened at the back door too. Ground level guards still began to draw their guns, but they're taken down immediately by nearby investigators who pretend to be innocent bystanders. Several dozen investigators quietly split them down the underground stairs. These narrow underground stairs went to an obstacle to their own. Everything would end up on the security camera. Raid would become known within a few seconds. For that matter, a push on the security button would make it impossible for the lock to be opened from the outside. That's why they had to secure the door before the ambush. Guards on both sides of Akasaka noticed a loud footsteps coming down the stairs. The well-dressed guard also realized there's something wrong. The three guards shifted their attention from Akasaka to the stairs behind them. And then he sensed that his attention shift. Akasaka took a quick, deep breath and stopped breathing entirely. Two guards standing behind him suddenly rose to the air in a strange position. Akasaka determined his position relative to the two guards next to him. He didn't check his eyes. But even so, his fists have been driven to the face with such precise accuracy.
It's so anime.
His moves were well-trained ones that show no mercy against evil. Destructive of armor, piece, and ammunition. And then someone shot him because Akasaka is still terrible with people who are holding guns at him. On the same strike, everything looked so strange with the flashing lights. The man who witnessed all this probably couldn't figure out what the fuck just happened. Two guards were up in the air in strange positions as the man who had been standing in front of them was crouching now. Then the frozen moment shattered. The well-dressed guards were smashed into the ceiling and shortly came crashing down to the floor. He almost slurping liquid food. He would desperately try to remember whether a fist or a leg that broke his jaw. Probably never quite recall it. Rather luckily, the way his body fell blocked the door, so Akasaka didn't have to hold it open any longer.
Akasaka. 突入する。
Hacker voice comment.
おい待て後続と合流しろ赤坂
It was filled with loud music, but everyone suddenly noticed the brouhaha. Oh my god. Brouhaha. Then Akasaka bellowed his warning, screams filled the club. Most people immediately hit the floor as trying to proclaim their innocence. But all the guards reacted quickly to Akasaka. Amidst all this, there were a few people trying to make their escape to the back alongside several guards. As Akasaka restarted his breathing once and then stopped it again, he ran after them like a wolf. He jumped onto the table, smashing scented bottles of alcohol and shattering glass of ice cubes made from icebergs of the Arctic. The foreign bodyguard whose previous profession must have been a professional boxer. Fuck people who buy that shit. Thought specifically in front of Akasaka.
The what?
Who wastes money getting actual ice cubes from the Arctic?
Oh yeah.
Well, he disappeared. The man was able to put on him was able to block Akasaka's attack. There wasn't even enough effective guard. The power of Akasaka's punches was so incredible that it simply broke the man's bones in an attempt to block them. What up? Sorry, I was channeling my ever bizarre adventure there. Ba-dum bum 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 bum. Akasaka, if you get the
Oh, I get it because of the Jotaro voice actor. Yeah.
Did you wait? Is that actually something you just got now, or are you?
I knew the whole time.
Okay. You know, it's past midnight, so I wouldn't put it past you. Okay, Akasaka, you're being cool.
No, I like
right
being
now.
oblivious.
Akasaka, I know you're being right cool right now, but I'm gonna speed read this. I hope you. I apologize. Their ability today taught him that bodyborn.
No, this is super anime. Like
Griffin, I am
to show off how much he's grown. Thing,
I got it.
You know, how
I got it.
Yeah.
He's no longer.
He lost a fist fight and then then never again.
That sounds like my close and broken. Actually, I already knew that. Akasaka continued with a left hook, and then it comes. And here comes Akasaka with the steel chair. Took a deep breath. The guy's staff invested against the demon. As he realized there's no way to take him down. Guards are being paid to deal with humans. And demons just wasn't the god description. I'm still tired, guys. Thank you, back up. And we finally steal your word. Everything that happened in just a matter of seconds. Time for Akasaka to take those 5 guards down and span merely 2 breaths.
全員床に伏せて頭の上で手を組め抵抗すると命の保証はしない
Thanks Thanks to this, Akasaka's reaction, the flow of events already set. Akasaka made the first right shot of the gang to the will to run. They were all down the floor one by one, but began smiling. Surrounded by the collar and threw him against the concrete wall.
あなた警察ですか？不逮捕特権あります。私は外交官です。
そりゃよかったな。給料いくらだ？
これ外交問題になります。大使館へ連絡させてくだ。
Dragon like roar outside of a foot on the wall right next to the diplomat's head. Like a wait.
Like a
Wait. Damn it! It was the wrong spot! Fuck! Starts on multiple times, decides to avoid from the This receptacle comes across the man's head. Diplomat crumbles to the floor. Police brutality. Yeah. Secret getaway. Well, doesn't the Soviet military grade machine guns were found. Akasaka had stopped them in the cloud. They would have escaped, or even worse, the operation had a brutal death toll on both sides. Now Akasaka used to the operation was beautiful, single shot fired.
急げ！地元警察が来るぞ！全員を荷台に押し込め！
And the foreign diplomats was involved. They had to make sure it didn't look as though the whole operation was carried out by the police. So it was made to look like a simple gang war. So it would dump the useless gang members and hand over the target to the police. First, before handing over to make sure he spilled everything he knew. A diplomatic pig would be used to negotiate dice from a part of pub safe. We can't believe it. Pigs and guns among nations. What does this have to do with June 1983?
That's a good question. Recommend.
応答しろ、赤坂！
こちら赤坂。撤収中。
また無茶をしやがって。後で出張にこってり絞られろ。
やっぱり鬼だな、赤坂さんはよ。秒殺で5人撃墜だぜ。
ありゃあ絶対。赤坂さんの鉄拳はすでに狂気だ。
しかし連中、銃を抜かなかった赤坂さん。躊躇蜂の巣にしてたかもしれないぜ。
聞こえてるぞ。人を殺し屋みたいに言うな。俺は悪党に容赦しないだけだ。
豚どもを荷台に詰め込め。赤坂、急がせろ。所轄署に通報が入ってるぞ。
赤坂了解。聞こえたな。撤収を急げ。
了解。主任どうぞ。領地手配をお願いします。
There wasn't any trace of Akasaka's old naivete. He grew into the vigilant ace of his department. Akasaka... Griffin! Did we stop? What's going?
No, just keep going.
Until we get to the next save.
You're almost there.
Okay, Akasaka was training. We're over 3 hours of recording. Just so someone knows why I'm suddenly so tired.
Yeah.
The Joe's live in the middle of downtown, small building.
I finished the other game a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
That took longer than I possibly think. Even if I got all the answers right, if I just let the dialogue play, holy shit, dude. Dojo he picked. The Akasaka karate was certainly a weapon for crushing enemies, but I was seeking something further from it. Call Dojo students having an actual physical lessons will work. Every time Akasaka punched a sandbag, the heavy side of his punch clanged the sandbag's chain of wood echo. He was just punching blindly. He used his fists, developed his thoughts, and then punch. A deep, low vibration of a proper sound. Drops of sweat scattered and the dust welled up in the air. It was a perfect blow embodying the concept of one strike, one kill. But wasn't satisfied. He closed his eyes and controlled his breathing as trying to hear the cry of the cicadas, then he punched again. Beginning protector looked like he was taking breaks between each. The other students training their own would glance over and sense fear and respect as he struck his blows.
赤坂さんって警察に勤めてるって噂だぜ。
マジかよ。あんな人が警官やってるなら俺は悪いことする気なんか起きねえぜ。しかし赤坂さんも集中力がすげえよな。あの人疲れるってことを知らねえぜ。
On this day off, Akasaka came to Dojo in the early morning. And he silently trained all day. Training was no longer physical, but mental. Other students were already aware of the continuous concentration is secret of his strength. However, there was easier said than done. As long as the person lives, abound the countless sides and idle thoughts. Where it starts to be eligible to singular focus, more like trying to attain enlightenment, something of martial arts, and tries to message such enlightenment. And the way that I've learned is that there's no way to reach it. The path one takes can reach it, it's mastered. Karate was Akasaka chose.
噂に聞いたんだけどよ、あの人奥さん死んじゃってるらしいんだよ。それを忘れるためにから。
あれ、俺が聞いた話は違うぜ。任務中に女の子を救えなかったとかなんとかで。
おい、聞こえてるぞ。人の噂話なんかしてないで。稽古。
おっ。It's just like that's almost battler.
Ball beeping noise. Someone's watching, you know. Commander Irwin, what are you doing here? Training for the Survey Corps?
赤坂さん。
A scout regiment?
俺たち弁当買ってきますけど、
go with
赤坂さんのも買ってきましょうか。
助かる。何でもいいぞ。頼む。
Saka was more pleased to be alone in the dojo than have anyone bring him lunch. When they left, silence filled the building.
くそ。人の話なんかしやがるから。
That happened because
集中
a
が
little bit
途切れ
of
ち
small
まった
parts,
じゃ
but
ない
he had
か。
much more training to do. Training much harder if he wanted to achieve enlightenment. Focused again and started to punch his sandbag, but the sound was a lot lighter than before. Obviously, the strength of his fist was no longer there. He needed to take a break. Akasaka pulled a towel from his bag and sat down. You stink. Not like physically, like you actually stink. Go take a bath. The sound of cicadas soaked into his body. The windows were open, but there was no breeze coming in. Still, he could feel the cool air, if just a little. Just as they said, the reason Akasaka started karate was because of Yuki's death. Of course, losing against the suspect in the kidnapping incident was one reason too, but more than that, the pain from Yuki's death was what made him start. Yuki fell down the stairs at the hospital and died while he was on a business trip in Shishibone. He couldn't get rid of the depression, so he started learning karate. But in June 1983, when the Great Himazawa disaster occurred, he realized something very important. The girl predicted Yuki's death, and then in return she wanted him to help her. Yuki's death was an accident. He could just have told himself there was nothing he could have done. But for the girl, Frederica's death was different. She knew about her own death 5 years prior. The disaster occurred in Oishi. He called him to make sure he was okay. Found out about everything. When he was caught up, he fell into despair. Frederica was a turning point in his life. If he had believed what she had predicted and did something about it, maybe Yuki wouldn't have fallen down the stairs. He took the oath to serve the public as a police officer, yet he didn't notice the plea from a little girl. He shoved aside a conspiracy surrounding her until it was too late. He had 5 years to do something about it, but he didn't do anything, and then she died. Visiting Himazawa for the kidnapping case of the minister's grandson was definitely the turning point in his life. If you only listened to what that girl said, Yuki would never have died, and he could have been there to help Frederica. Those two things continued to haunt him. The investigation into the series of mysterious deaths in Himazawa that he heard about Oishi put on a definite hiatus because of the disaster. Apparently both of them there was some conspiracy behind it all. The challenge just things needed the strength, experience that he could muster. He was devoting himself to gain such strength, but it was too late. The thing already ended. While he was stuck in this dilemma, the dojo instructor admonished him. There's nothing one can do about what's already done. So in that case, there's only one thing he can do. Is train diligently so the same things happen again. Be able to save a person in need. It's all too late. Everything is already over. He died in an accident. Himazawa was destroyed in a gas disaster. And Yuka-chan was murdered as her intestines were ripped out of her while she was alive. Shit! I was too obsessed with Yuki's death I could hear the girl's pleas for help. No, if I listened to her, I could have prevented Yuki's accident too. Damn it. Damn it! Shit! Akasaka clenched his hair and looked up. He noticed a small shrine overhead that protected the dojo. It's like a dragon. Akasaka respected both Shinto and Buddhism, but he never thought of praying to gods in times of despair. For the first time, he felt like praying for help. If it's something he was capable of doing himself, he would never consider praying. But if it's something he could resolve on his own, he prayed. It was a very selfish wish. If his wish was to come true, then everyone in the world would wish for the same thing.
もう一度あの時に戻らせてくれ。そうしたら今度こそ俺は二人を救う。
In that moment, Akasaka's body suddenly felt very light. It was more like he was losing balance. as he was fainting. Perhaps it's because he shouted so loudly after training and his brain was lacking in oxygen. Because he couldn't take his eyes off the shrine.
ありがとう、赤坂。あなたの思いが私たちにはとても必要だった。
Was this a hallucination? Oh my god, is he actually here? He is!
私たちが奇跡を願い、あなたも奇跡を願わなければ奇跡は起こらない。だって奇跡は全員が願わなかったら起こらない。双方が手を伸ばし合わなかったら届かない。
Didn't know what she was trying to say. Somebody felt like he couldn't miss a single word of it. Felt like it was something very, very important.
赤坂、もしあなたも望んでくれるなら、あなたに奇跡を、私たちに奇跡を。それは欠けたかけらを結び合わせ、より大きな大きなかけらを生み出すきっかけになる。あなたのたった一つの決意が全員の思いや運命に大きな影響を及ぼすこともあるのだから。
あの時にもう一度時間を巻き戻してくれるというのか。
うん、そんなこと私にはできないのです。私にできるのは気づかせることだけ。一つのかけらだけでは学べないことを、他のかけらで学んだことを気づかせてあげるだけ。だからこの欠けたかけらをあるべきところへ戻すだけ。それでもきっと大きな奇跡、もっともその奇跡をあなたはきっと気づかないだろうけれど。
Thank you, Akasaka. Thank you for remembering me. I don't even know how much time I spent asking you for help. But finally it reached you. So I'll say it one more time. Please help me. No. Please help us. A fragment of MATSURIBAYASHI. It was long. It was really long.
I thought you were gonna stop there for after that.
Are you okay? Is your spirit still alive? Do we have all the pieces we're lined up on the game board? Is this everything we have that can go against Takano and her minions in the game of fate that is June 1983? I think, maybe, we have everything. And last but not least, Hanyu, it's you. The time you have left to be a piece is limited, but that doesn't mean you can't show up in the game. Shall we begin? I put in hundreds of years just for this moment.